welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys to send me in some questions that you guys have on Instagram, and after my last video I did about my last LPN check and my first RN check, I just figured I'd make a video today with all the questions that you guys had, so let's just jump straight into the video. The first question was, how do I balance work life when I have children and a husband at home? Now, I know you guys were asking if my paycheck was weekly or bi-weekly. It is bi-weekly, and I do work 80 hours. Now, let me tell you how it calculates. I work 3 12-hour shifts. Now, my job gives 8 hours extra for educational time. So, I try to take advantage of my education, and I'll take little courses here and there. I'll get like little certifications. So that's how it equals out to 80 hours. And I tend to do my 3 12s in a row. So my schedule basically goes, I'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I'll normally have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. And I might do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. Or I'll do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I'll take a couple, like 4 days off. Or I kind of make my schedule in a way that I have a lot of days off back to back, if that makes any sense to you guys. And then some days I'll stay a little later, like I'll do 4 hours extra on my last day of my third shift, so I can get 4 hours, and then I'll come in on one of my days off and do 4 hours, so it equals out to 40 hours for that week, and then I'll do the same thing for the following week. Also, what I tend to do is that if I know I want a lot of days off, like let's say for instance 2 weeks ago, I ended up taking a whole week off, and it was because of how I schedule myself. I had worked 4 days in a row, and it doesn't, even though it seems like a lot, especially because I'm pregnant, it actually isn't a lot, because once you get into that rotation after your first night and then they kind of give you back the same patients, it becomes like a breeze actually. And then I'll do 4 days, and then I'll pick up 1 more day, and then I'll take like 11 days, 7 to 11 days off. It just depends. Somebody asked me about tithing, which was a really good question. When I get paid, I always take out 10% of my gross. Now, I know a lot of people take out of their what they're actually bringing home, but I take out of my gross, and I take that 10%, and sometimes I'll give it into the church when I go to church, or I like to donate my money on my tithes doing different things. So like if I know that someone is down and out, like I'll give them my tithes, or I'll pay somebody's phone bill or light bill, or that's what I take my tithes to do. So I always take out 10% of my paycheck of the gross amount when I get paid, and I give back. Why did I choose LPN first? I think I stated it in my video, but I'm not sure. But LPN was not my first thought, if that makes any sense to you guys. I wanted to go straight for my RN. But then when I was having issues getting into the actual program, and then I met that lady and she told me about the whole LPN thing, I took the LPN route. Now, this route is not going to work for everyone. To each their own. I know a lot of you guys are asking me, should I do the LPN first? Should I be a CNA first? Honestly speaking, the route that I took was the best route for me, because it enabled me and it taught me a lot of core values and certain things that if I was brand new out of school, it took me a while to adapt to. Not saying it's a bad thing, but the 12 years LPN experience that I do have kind of gave me a cushion. So when I did start this new job as an RN, I didn't need 3 months training. Honestly speaking, with my new job, I trained as an RN for a week and a half. Because I felt like after a week and a half, I just needed to learn the system at work, and that was it. Anything else, I could learn as I go. Because like I said before, I was doing the same thing before. Just not in neuro, but I was doing the same exact thing when I worked med-surg. Another question I was asked was, what's my specialty? When I first became an LPN, I did tell you guys that I worked in a nursing home first until the hospital called me, and then I worked on a med-surg unit. I worked med-surg for 5 years, and then I became a float. And basically what a float is, you can float to any unit that's short. But I mostly floated to the ER. After floating to the ER, I kind of really loved the ER, so I focused in on the ER. I did 3 years ER, and then I kind of like hopped around the hospital doing like different things. So my specialty, like I love trauma. The hospital that I work at right now, we are not a trauma hospital, but eventually they are working on it because they're building a new ER. But I'm all on, I love trauma. I love the adrenaline rush. I just love it. Oh, someone made a comment stating that, you know, you don't get paid that much as an RN and I make more than you as an LPN. I make $100,000 a year. Now, I want you guys to keep this in mind. When I worked in New York, making $100,000 as an LPN is very doable. Because I made $100,000 in 2008 and I want to say 2010. I didn't make over $100,000 in 2009 because I was pregnant and I got hurt on the job. And this is like, if you guys want a video about this, let me know. But I was hurt in the job and I had to go out on workers' comp, and let's just say, of course, if I'm not working, I'm not going to make that kind of money. So if you guys want another in-depth video about that, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. But I'm not going to ramble on and on. In 2008 and 2010, I did make, one year I made $99,000 and change, and the other one I made a little bit over $100,000. And it is very doable in New York. I can only tell you about New York because that's where I did it as an LPN, because I worked in a hospital. I had my own MPI number and I used to work for a doctor and I used to do wound care because I am wound care certified. And that certification is like thousands of dollars. But I am wound care certified, so what I basically did for the doctor was that he would have patients come in and I would basically be providing care, or I'll do dressing changes, or do wound vacs, and I'll do stuff like that, and I'll privately bill Medicare or Medicaid, either or, because I had my own MPI number. Not saying that that doctor couldn't do it. This doctor was like a holistic doctor, so he didn't have like a medical license. So because he didn't have a medical license, he could not actually provide that service of hands-on wound care. So that's what I did. And I also did home care visits, and I used to do home care visits for $30 per visit. Looking back now, it's kind of better to do it hourly because you get paid more. But I used to do home care visits getting paid $30 an hour, and I used to go like to Vanderveer. Like, I'll go to the projects because I would try to target a lot of people in one day. Because if you look at it, if I had 10 patients, if I seen 10 patients, that was $30. That's $300 a day. So working my 3 shifts at the hospital, so that's already a paycheck. I used to work at the holistic doctor 2 days a week, and the thing about the whole MPI thing is that when you privately bill Medicare and Medicaid, you get paid for that month. So it's not like you get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. You get paid at the end of the month. So let's say, for instance, this whole month I'm doing wound care and I send my bill into Medicare and Medicaid, I'm not going to get that bill to the following month. So that was just like an extra income for me. So those 2 years that I made $100,000, honestly speaking, I did not spend that much time with my family. I did not spend that much time with my kids because I was always working. Yeah, I had days off, and yes, I took a lot of vacation, but I was really working. Not saying that I was doing strenuous work. The only time I did like really hard labor was at the hospital. But when I was working, doing my home care visits, I loved doing that. It was a breeze. Working to do the wound care, that was a breeze also. So it wasn't like it was hard labor, but guess what? At the end of the day, I was making all this money, but I wasn't really taking care of my family, if you look at it like that. I was financially taking care of them. I wasn't physically there. So after that last year in 2010, it was like kind of like a wake-up call for me because my daughter was a year old, and I felt like I missed out a lot. I felt like I missed out a lot of milestones because I was constantly working. So I had to tell myself, is it all about the money, or is family more important? And guess what? At the end of the day, family was more important. Moving down to Florida, Florida really humbled me because when I left New York, I told you guys I was making $20-something an hour as an LPN. When I moved down here, LPNs were not making money like that. So my first job was $15. And this is where I wanted to answer another question, because somebody was like, well, are you in it for the money? If I was in nursing for the money, well, first of all, that don't even make any sense to me. I know with some people are in nursing for the money. And you can tell those nurses. You know those nurses off the bat because they don't care about patient care. They don't answer their call lists. You could tell though they make horrible nurses. I'm in this because I actually care. When I was young, I knew I wanted to be, at first I wanted to be a vet. And then it went from being a vet to a police. I've always been a nurturing person. I've always been a caring person. And that's why I chose nursing. That's why I felt like nursing was my calling. And I say all this to say, yes, people get into it for the money, but that's not a reason why you should be a nurse. You should be a nurse because you want to help people. You want to see people get better. You want to be a part of a healthcare team and actually work with other people to make a difference in someone's lives. And that's just how I look at nursing. And to piggyback off of that, I was reading a comment and somebody was saying, you know, LPNs or nurses don't respect CNAs, and or LPNs don't respect CNAs, and RNs don't respect LPNs. Truth be told, moving to Florida, I seen the disrespect for LPNs. Honestly speaking, I remember a time, and I think I had called my mom because I was just so discouraged because I was making $15 an hour at this place and I was getting treated like crap. It was a humbling experience because at the same time, it's like I don't want anybody to talk to me like crap, but then I needed a job to pay my bills because I have kids to take care of. So I humbled myself until I can find better. Not saying that you want to take a job and have somebody treat you like crap. Sorry guys, my camera did cut off. I gotta take a drink. But anywho, I can't remember what I was saying in the last clip because I do have pregnancy brain. But let's just talk about how I handle difficult staff, because that was another question. Like, how do you handle mean co-workers and mean staff members? Let me start off by saying, as a nurse, you have to have respect for your CNA. You even have to have respect for dietary. You have to have respect for the mechanic or the janitor, or you want to have respect for everyone. You never want to feel like you're better than anyone else because of your title, because some of these doctors will humble you when they chew you up and spit you out. But I just wanted to say that when it comes to my techs and my CNAs, there's nothing that I would tell my tech or my CNA to do that I wouldn't do. I'm down for giving bed baths. I'm down for turning and repositioning a patient. I'm down for feeding the patient. Once your techs see that you are not lazy, they are going to help you. Once they see that you respect them, and I did this as an LPN and I still do it as an RN. No one can ever say that I've been a lazy nurse, because that's not me at all. I'm the type of nurse, I have poor time management, and I'm working on that. But the reason why I say I have poor time management is because a lot of times if I'm doing work and I hear a call light go off, I stop and answer that call light. And I see a lot of nurses don't do that. Or I can go in there, if I go in there to the patient smells like poop, guess what? I'm not pressing the call light or going out and calling my tech. I'm getting the supplies and I'm cleaning the patient. And half the time it don't even be my patient, but I'm still going to do it. Because why? That could be me laying there. That could be my mom. That could be a loved one. So what would I want for myself or my loved one? I wouldn't want them laying in poop or laying in pee. So I'm going to make sure to provide that care. So you want to make sure that you have a equal level of understanding and respect to anyone that you work with. When I encounter a difficult coworker, and I get this a lot because I moved to Florida and it's very racist. Very, very racist. And a lot of times, you know, when I first started, I'm not saying I was being treated poorly at my hospital, but when I first started, they would see me, and mind you, they see me with a blue scrub on, and they automatically say, oh, the patient thing needs to be changed, or I need you to go help this patient do X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at them like, we on the same level. Like, why are you talking to me like that? Then they look like, oh my God, you're a nurse. I'm so sorry. Like, heifer, we wearing the same color scrubs, and you know the techs don't even wear this color. Why are you trying to play with me? So it's like I had to learn how to not, like, sometimes my face says it all. So I had to learn that everyone is not going to like you. Everyone is not going to respect you. I've learned that even on YouTube. Like, you're going to get mean comments. You're going to get hateful things said to you. It's just how you respond to it. So I try not to feed into negativity. I try not to feed into drama at my job. Like, I do my job, I go home. That's it. Clock in, do my work, make sure my patient is safe, and I go home. That's it. So when it comes to conflict and stuff like that, I don't really find myself in situations like that because, like I said before, that's the person that I am. I try to avoid conflict, and if I'm in a situation, I try to finesse my way out of it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If I had to choose it all over again, would I be an LPN first, or would I go straight through to my RN? I kind of liked the route that I took. Like, even though back then I seen it as like a struggle, or I seen it as something being negative, it turned out to be positive because, like I said before earlier, becoming an LPN first kind of helped me. I know a lot of new grad RNs that are graduating now that can't get a job because they want somebody with experience. I get a lot of jobs because, like I said before, based on my LPN experience. I have jobs calling me now. Like, I'm very much, even though some people say my pay sucks, I'm very much content with what I get paid right now, that I don't feel like leaving my job. Because I really do enjoy my coworkers. I enjoy my patients. The hospital is in close vicinity to where I live at. My husband works at the hospital also, so it's just more convenient to us. But I'm not leaving just for more money. Because you can go somewhere with more money and the grass is not green on the other side. Because what I might complain about at my job, I might go somewhere else and it's 10 times worse. So, not saying I'm complacent, or it's not a complacement thing. It's just like I'm okay with making the money that I make. I'm okay with staying at my location. I'm perfectly fine with it. I love this question. What is the most rewarding thing about the nursing field? The most rewarding thing for me is when I can see a patient that comes in and they are like comatose. I can't say half dead because people are going to get offended by that. But when you see a patient that comes in and they're in the worst off shape as possible, and then you see them leaving the hospital, walking out with their family, that's like the best feeling. It's like a feeling that you can't explain. Or if you have a patient that colds, or a patient that you had to do a rapid response on, and you code this patient, you do a rapid response on them, and they turn around and they are able to walk out of the hospital, like, that is a blessing. I'm going to start wrapping up this video because I don't want to make this video super long. You guys asked me what school I attended. I stated before I went to an LPN program in Long Island, New York called VEEB. And then from VEEB, I was doing Helene Fold, and that didn't work out. I started doing Excelsior online until I found out I was right. I was almost done with Excelsior, honestly. I was almost done with Excelsior. Then I found out that a lot of states don't even accept Excelsior graduates, which kind of scared me off because I was paying all this money out of pocket. So I did not finish up at Excelsior, and the funny thing is that a lot of my credits from Excelsior didn't even transfer. So it's like I wasted all this money. And then I started a school. What's it, St. John's? I started St. John's, and then once that program, it didn't fall through, but I was like, I was sick at the time, so I ended up sitting down with my family, letting them know that, you know, I'm thinking about moving to Florida about this program. Because what I ended up doing, the program that I attended in Florida is in St. Pete, called Galen. And what I did was that I sent them over my transcript, because I had all these different transcripts from Mega, from VEEB, from Helene Fold, from St. John's, and I sent that into them. And I sent it into Jersey College and Kaiser to see who was going to take the majority of my credits, being that I had all these student loans because I didn't qualify for financial aid. I had all these student loans and I had nothing to show for it. Only thing I had at that time was my LPN license from VEEB. So I sent in all my credits to these schools, and Galen called me back and they were taking the majority of my credits. And that's when I was like, pack your bag, kids, we are moving to Florida. And that's why I came down here. So that answers another question. Why did I move to Florida? To finish school. A very important thing I want to touch on is how I paid for school. I just stated that I did not get any financial aid. Everything was either through student loans. When I started going to Galen, the thing that I liked was that I only had to complete nursing classes. So I had 6 nursing classes to complete, and basically those classes were like up to like $600-700. So what I was honestly doing was money from my savings is what I was paying to pay for school. And then when I moved down here, I qualified for a scholarship. I wrote an essay, got it, and then that was $2,500. And that's the same thing that I'm doing for my master's right now. I'm paying everything out of pocket, and then I have scholarships. So when I graduate, I don't graduate with debt. The money that I'm paying to my, the money that I'm paying to my previous school loans is almost paid off. But the money that it took for me to get my RN, I did not have any debt. I don't owe anybody for that. And the money for my master's, I'm not going to owe anybody when it's time to graduate. So everyone's situation is different. I'm not sure if you'll be able to do something like that, but that was the route that I took because, like I said before, I had $30,000 in debt with nothing to show for it when I was doing all those programs. But this is the end of my video. I hope I answered as much questions as I could have, because I didn't want to make this video super long. If you want me to do a part 2 and answer more questions, let me know in the comment section below. If there's any other video you guys want to see, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye, my loves. Oh, somebody came for me and said my hair wasn't done. I just came from work, okay? I was tired, came from work. My hair was in a protective style, pulled back, and then sis trying to talk about, oh, you make all this money, you can't get your hair done. You're worried about the wrong thing, sis. Worry about your edges. Worry about God. Worry about finding you a man. Okay? Bye.